We've been given the most amazing ability to picture in the mind. And that picturing power was given to us when we were born, and it's in you right now. But sadly, many people don't use this power to create the life they want. Our picturing power shows up when we think, how on earth did I get that idea? Where did that come from? But one of the problems that we have with the picturing power is that it works all the time, even when we don't want it to. And that means if we're thinking of something we're annoyed about, or someone's upset us, or we don't like something that's happening, it's in our thoughts and we're going over and over it and we're giving it more attention, and then it grows, and then before we know it, it shows up in our life. And so it's important that we give attention to what the pictures are that we have in our mind. Just notice what's going on. What are you thinking of? Are you dwelling on a problem? The more you think about it, the bigger it's going to get. So the question is, do you want the problem to continue in your life? And if you don't want it anymore, then you have a choice to turn away from the picture. And you can do that by training yourself to change the picture, to change it to what you actually want to experience. The scientist Albert Einstein said that many of his theories came to him through his picturing power. And that picturing power was just so much more important to him than any knowledge he had. And what he'd do is he'd take an idea and then he'd just mull over it. And he'd listen, and then he'd reflect on it, and then he'd listen again a bit more, and he'd work on it just long enough that something would pop up into his mind. And so we have that ability too. We have that ability to create an internal picture of what we want, to reflect on it, and if we add belief to it, that makes it possible. Of course, we have to believe that it's possible, otherwise the mind's going to say no. So whatever you see in your mind as being possible, if you can see it and you can believe it, then you can have it. So at that point, once you've created that positive internal picture of something that you actually want, you have a choice to move it from your internal picture to the external reality. And once you put it out there in the external, it becomes real for you. We don't get something for nothing, so once it's on the external, we usually have to make some effort. So there's an effort on our part. We've got to do whatever steps or put into action what needs to be done to make it happen. When we see something in the mind, that's the intellectual at work. And when we feel something, that's our desire at work. And if you pay attention, you'll notice that a thought always has a feeling attached to it. You may not be noticing it straight away, you may not be aware of it, but it's there. So when you're picturing something, what you want to do is get a feeling around it. When you put the picturing, thinking capacity and the feelings together, you get this really great dynamic duo. It's almost unstoppable. It's a combination that is really powerful to create something with. And so if you hold that picture of what you want long enough and you see yourself living it, you'll get a strong feeling for it. And it's almost like you're already there. There's a lovely Greek myth about Pygmalion, the king of Cyprus. He carves a statue of a beautiful woman out of marble. And she's just so gorgeous. He hangs jewels on her. He puts flowers at her feet, and he sits looking at her, admiring her. And he spends more and more time with her over the weeks and the months, sitting with her each day until eventually he falls in love with her. And the gods have pity on Pygmalion. So they decide to breathe life into the statue, and she becomes real. And this ancient story holds such a profound truth that whatever we can conceive of in the mind, if we add desire and belief to it, we can bring it to life. As the poet James Allen wrote, "Dream lofty dreams, and as you dream, you shall become. So now I invite you to call forth your picturing power as we enter a time of meditation. Become comfortable and close your eyes as we leave the outer world for a few moments. And as you become aware of the breath, breathe slowly and deeply in, and breathe slowly out, releasing any tension as you exhale. As we turn within, let's take our attention to the space between the eyes, the place sometimes called the third eye, acknowledging this as the center that enables us to see beyond the physical, that place where we see with spiritual eyes. And we surrender. We surrender to the picturing power of the mind. We open ourselves to receive. We see all possibilities. We see all opportunities. And we add our love to these. We believe it is possible. And we commit to taking any steps that are necessary to bring them into reality. In this moment we claim, I see clearly. We claim, I see creatively. And we affirm that the picturing power of my mind is quickened. I see good unfolding in every area of my life. And as this time of meditation comes to a close, we give thanks for this great gift, knowing that what we dream, we shall become. And so it is.